Aubrey.
I told them very, very adamantly that I wanted them to go to state prison and do their time that Judge Walmsley gave them on the 7th of January.
Aubrey's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, objected as she says she wants the McMichaels to do their time in a state prison. USA Radio News.
Since 2004, men choose Andro 400 for one reason: results.
It has really worked. I've lost 35 pounds. It's just unbelievable. I never lost weight like that easily in my life.
Congratulations, Stephen, on losing 35 pounds. Andro 400. We guarantee the results. Start today and get free shipping. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com. andro400.com.
Get to Kohl's to save on beauty, essentials, and home. Take 20% off all beauty and fragrance during our Love Your Look beauty event. Pick up Nike hoodies for the family starting at $19.99. Save 50% on Carter's for baby. And Sonoma Goods for Life bath towels are only $8.99. Plus, take an extra 20% off when you spend $100 or more. And get Kohl's Cash. This weekend at Kohl's. Select styles. Offer valid September 20th through 23rd with promo code SAVINGS. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Hey, folks, now is the time to start thinking about that yard or garden for spring, and that means a visit to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery. And guess what? Those super popular dwarf, ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas are back, and they're still at the same low price, just $3.99 for these hardy beauties. They bloom practically all year long. Other hot items from this week's ad: Bob Wine's famous sun and shade-loving camellias. Prices start at just $19.99, and now during the Camellia Show Spectacular is a great time to get yours. A fabulous truckload sale on citrus trees, including those popular new smaller citrus bushes, starting at only $24.99. For all this and the week's best deals, go to bobwinescamelliagardens.net and then come on over during the Camellia Show Spectacular at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 3. Now don't you miss it.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson CPA Firm is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson CPA Firm, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson CPA Firm, there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
time for the second part of In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's taking your phone calls, 622-9622. Let's go right out the phone lines. Good morning, you're on with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning, Carol Ann. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I heard the tail end of the last topic about the elephant ears wilting and leaving them lay and wait until March until you trim anything.
Right.
Does that apply to crepe myrtles too?
Crepe myrtles, unless you absolutely have to, we really don't prune. But you do any pruning for crepe myrtles usually about the middle of February because they should still be dormant, and crepe myrtle all blooms on new growth. So if you're trimming off the old seed pods that are hanging there, good time to do it. I do not advocate for the hat racking that they do, that landscapers do, that road crews do, and that the commercial kind of thing where they just take the chainsaw to them. I don't like it. It can shorten the life of the tree over time, but plant the right size crepe myrtle in the right area and you don't need to prune them.
Okay, I was just talking about if they're getting too leggy looking,
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you need to take out some of the old multiple trunks and things like that, or just the upper branches.
Just the upper branches and just cutting them back to the thicker trunks is what I'm talking about.
Right. That's because that came probably from quite a few years of either cutting them really hard. You can take out some of the thinner branches. I don't like cutting them off because should we get a bad hurricane season or whatever, none of those branches are strong and they can break and tear within the tree when they get whipping around. They're very, that's when you see all the flowers where they really look umbrellaed, and that's because the stems are weak. They're very pliable, very weak on that. But yeah, if you need to take out anything out of the crepe myrtles, they are dormant now. So you're removing larger branches and things like that. But that's usually mid-February because that gives you that 4 to 6 weeks before we start coming into more seasonable spring weather.
Great. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the call.
Have a good day.
Thanks. When we're doing when I'm talking about pruning because of cold weather, that's usually on more tender things. It's on perennials. It's on our ornamental grasses. It's the elephant ears. It's the things that really got burned. When you're looking at a crepe myrtle, they had no leaves on them, no damage. They are cold hardy. They actually, my understanding is that they actually do better once you get up into Georgia and things like that, where they,
I remember the question Susan wanted me to ask now.
Oh, okay.
It was about crepe myrtles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we have one in the front yard.
Okay.
And she said, ask Carol Ann Baldwin. She knows that Carol Ann doesn't like to cut back crepe myrtles.
Right.
But this crepe myrtle, when you look at it, you can see it creates almost like a bowl shape with the big thick limbs.
Right.
And then there's little limbs all in the middle that look like kindling wood.
Right.
And it's all matted and just wrapped around each other. And she was wondering, can you cut those out and still leave the big hardy branches? Does that hurt the crepe myrtle?
If you're taking out, just like he was asking, I think is kind of the same question. Yeah, if you've got stuff that's real spindly in there, if it's crisscrossed.
Looks like kindling wood. It's crisscrossed and everything.
If it's crisscrossed, and wherever it's crisscrossed, they rub, and that's not good for the branches either. You can take those out or shorten them if that works too. Lower water sprouts that came up all of last year, during the growing season, you can take those off. You can try for those ones, you can try the boot to the side of the trunk thing, see if that doesn't stop them from growing back versus pruning them off.
When I mean the little spindly, it's stuff you can take with a big pair of loppers.
Okay.
You can cut these. It's not something you need a chainsaw for or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that these are either your hand pruners or
they're going to take a little more than hand pruning.
Okay, so they're something that's crisscrossed.
But they are crisscrossed. It looks like a weave in there actually.
Okay, anything that would be crossing, rubbing, things like that, you can go ahead and remove.
And do that in the middle of February?
About the middle of February. So, pick a nice weekend sometime soon. And
2-3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Because
and that way you're not too early, because again they bloom on new growth. So any pruning you're going to do is obviously going to encourage some new growth to begin at those areas, but we don't want to push it too soon. Same way we don't want to wait till the end of March and push our blooming out further, or that you're starting to get new growth and guess what, you're not pruning because you're going to push off your bloom.
You don't advocate though for what my golf course does.
No.
And it don't. Now, by the way, it only does it once every. I think it didn't do it last year and didn't do it this year, but it did it I think it does once every 3 years.
Every 3 years
come in
it gets a little
because every 3 or 4 years these crepe myrtles get 15, 18 foot tall.
And they have to do it based upon the golf course management. You have to manage the landscape. Same thing when you drive down highways that use them on either side of the road or down the median. They have to prune them, and they have to, because of certain regulation of being able to see either over or under a tree or planting.
But if you're going to crepe murder, your word.
Right.
If you're going to crepe murder, the fact the golf course does it once every 3 or 4 years is better than doing it. I know some people that will go and cut their crepe myrtle back every year.
And some of them that'll cut them back real early. And it's like, okay, now you have this giant stump in your yard, and it looks ridiculous.
It's such a great tree, too.
They're great bloomers.
Anything that they've made fireworks to look like.
Right. And I mean, and in March, be a good time if you had some that were slow to bloom or anything like that. I think I'll throw this onto the Facebook in the garden page too. February, early March, a bloom booster fertilizer at that time, as we, as we're starting to come out of the cold weather. So that first part of March, using the bloom booster should, if you've had some that didn't bloom quite the way you wanted them, or other plants that are good bloomers, might need a shot of a bloom booster fertilizer.
Is that something that you should think about for all your trees? All your blooming trees,
only if they really haven't bloomed well over the last couple of years. And
like my lemon tree. It's the same age as the grapefruit tree. The grapefruit's got buds all over it.
I would
the lemon tree has none.
With your lemon tree, I would still just stick with a citrus fertilizer. Mm-hmm. Some plants just take a little longer to come to maturity. That lemon tree struggled.
And it's in dirt that we didn't know at the time until we started digging up the garden area. The dirt 8-9 inches down is just Archer fill dirt.
Yeah, but they should still. You figure what's under an orange grove.
Fill dirt, probably sand.
Yeah, fill dirt. It's we were a sandbar, so it's sand.
The state is a sandbar.
Yeah, state is a sandbar. So I mean, they really should. They just sometimes you get a tree that just kind of struggles till it finally takes hold. I've adopted plants out of the distressed area. No, I don't call them death racks. They are distressed, but many times it's just that they're overgrown. And some of mine were a little rough, and it's like, okay, it took 9 months to a year to get this one plant where it's going, okay, it's doing well. You're finally putting on new leaves. So I'm hopeful that maybe this year it'll bloom. It's a Grecian pattern plant. So if anybody wants to look one of those up. But yet I have another plant that I may have actually finally killed it. And this is one someone gave me. They actually gave me two. I've killed one completely. The other one is on its last roots.
Wait, a master gardener sometimes can't.
Yeah, I
can't bring it back. Huh?
This one wasn't even a sad rack or distressed plant. It was a plant somebody gave me, and I have not yet learned the magic trick because it's a bat plant. If anybody's ever heard it, it's Tacca, Tacca, and it was a white bat plant. But I'll be son of a gun if I can't get that. I can't find the happy spot for it.
And how key is that sometimes for plants?
It's
making sure you get the right,
the right plant in the right place.
Yes.
Means you then have to do very little for it. No, that's the
because you see all the time the little signs that are on the plants. This is partial sun. This is full sun.
This needs more water.
This needs more water.
A lot of times the plant tags actually have a numbering system or some other type of code on it that'll tell you that if it has a number 4 on it, all the ones you see in the nursery that sport that number 4 all have the same growing conditions. So you can plan a bed and not have one plant in there that's going to struggle because it needs more water than the rest. Or that you're not going to overwater everybody else. So you can match these up. That they'll have the same lighting and water and fertilization requirements. So pay attention to those.
I didn't know there was
a
system like that.
There actually is. I know in the box store I work at, their tags have them. I'm guessing that the other ones may have something similar. Like I said, ours has a numbering, and it reminds you, anybody who's at least of my age, graduation class of 83-ish, remembers as a child the clothing line Garanimals, where if you selected a lion and a lion out of your closet, they matched.
No idea what you're talking about.
You don't remember Garanimals as a child?
Nope.
Oh, see,
it's my story. I'm sticking to it. Nope.
Oh, okay, I got you. You couldn't match you matched your lions and tigers, huh?
No. I just had Garanimals, and they were husky. So the jokes I got because you're a husky Garanimal. I don't even want to start.
Don't want to go there.
No, but it was easy for me because I look lion,
right.
Tiger,
that was
tiger.
it. That you knew as a child.
You could dress yourself.
You were 7 or 8 years old, and you could go into your closet, and you knew that your mother was not going to yell at you for
Yeah, you could dress. Yeah. You weren't going to come out in plaids and
polka
pastels.
dots. Right. You weren't going to. Yeah, you weren't going to have the lime green pants on and a dark
and orange shirt. You weren't going to have that.
Something.
But that's a good system. And for plants, I think it would really, really help because it gives you choices that you could put all together, and the care for them is all together.
Right. And that's what you want to do is putting that right plant in the right place. If you have a big oak tree, you have to be careful what you're going to plant under there because the root system and the amount of shade it's going to get. There's only certain plants that are really going to thrive in that. You have like many lots here in especially if it's new construction here in Central Florida, have no trees, or the trees that are on those properties are very small, and so you have no shade. The only problem comes is 10 or 15 years down the line that will change. Hopefully at that point those plants may have actually acclimated to that and will continue to thrive, or that over time you may have to replace some of those just because your growing conditions changed. That's everything's microclimate and little micro worlds there on your own property.
I will tell you that much kudos to my wife. Uh-huh. She's been following your lead and doing the compost holes. Yep. She's dug over 30 some odd holes through her little gardening area. And it was all sugar sand.
Yeah. Just old fill dirt, builder's dirt.
Yeah, the peach-colored fill dirt, builder's dirt. Mm-hmm. It's not peach-colored anymore. Nice. It's got a darker brown to it now.
Nice earthy color.
And she's turning it over with regular, and so it looks with that kind of dirt, with that kind of preparation. Mm-hmm. Will she need as much topsoil now because of how this dirt's
it would just
cured?
Be adding enough to fill that bed and make sure that there's an even amount of
because when she rakes it now, it's probably only about an inch from being the top of the bed.
Right. So that's about all I would fill
I think put the black cow, just go get or whatever.
Basic compost, something purchased compost,
and
purchased
put that
manures,
on top and do that last inch in that. And I think
and then just kind of rake that in a little bit, let it settle for say a week or two, and then go ahead and plant.
Be ready, and
be ready to go.
She's got all kind of things. I think she's doing romaine lettuce, and she's doing beans, and she's doing cucumbers and squash. It's going to be I told her we'll have to get a table at the farmer's market.
You're having lots of veggies.
Well, she just started the keto.
Okay.
And it's meat and veggies.
Yep.
So she wants to supplement,
Well, I mean,
that way we don't have to buy as many.
Nothing tastes better than going out in the garden and grabbing a couple squash off that plant.
Those green peppers are pretty good.
Rinse them off, slice it, throw it in the skillet with some butter, sliced onion, salt and pepper. 3 or 4 minutes like that. Boom, put it on the plate, and shoot, what else did you need?
Well, she's
pork chop on the side.
She's committed to this garden.
Yeah.
She thinks it'll save us quite a bit of money.
And it's fun. It is. There's nothing, like I said, it can get frustrating, but there also is not much more pleasurable than being able to go out and harvest what you bring in for dinner that night.
Seems like work to me.
But it's fun.
No fun sinking a birdie putt from 25 feet.
Well, only if you can do that.
Well, that's fun.
So some of us prefer to go play in the dirt.
Believe me, as much as I'm in the sand traps, I'm in the dirt a lot. I'm in the dirt a lot.
Fixing divots and
Exactly. So now we've talked about trees and when to prune them back, probably mid-February. We've talked about how you can take, like my mom, we put her in the garage. She got a little too cold.
She got too cold.
I'll cut her back a little bit. Maybe she'll survive and everything.
Right.
But now we're to the point where our grass is dormant.
Oh, serious dormant.
Dormant. But that's something, is it 1st of March, middle of March, we need to start thinking about that?
When you still would want to, if you're on an irrigation system, you still want to turn that irrigation system on about once every 10 days. Because it does still need, if we don't get rain, it still needs water. It is brown, or a good chance it's brown. You don't want to fertilize it. You want to wait till it begins to wake up on its own. Because now that it's down, it's brown, it looks bad. Putting fertilizer down now is not going to help it.
No.
It's a waste of time, waste of money, and you're throwing something that's not going to be used by a plant on the ground. It's a pollutant. Wait till middle to the end of March. Usually that's about the time our grasses start to come out of the dormancy. They begin to green up on their own. So that's when we think about doing the fertilization. In February, and you're going to need to read the package instructions. I know that's a chore to have to do, folks. Sometimes you got to break out the cheaters or the hand lens to be able to see the tiny print. But using a liquid herbicide in order to knock out the incoming weeds and that, we'll do that here in February. Or a crabgrass. If you had a big crabgrass issue, get the crabgrass preventer on there now. This is the 1st of February, because we usually do that first week of February, and then the 15th of March. It's about a 6-week span in between, and if you don't do it early enough, you will still get crabgrass.
What about dollar grass and clover, dollar weed and clover? Okay. Is this the time to start worrying about getting that removed from your yard as well?
And again, you can, if you have dollar weed or you had clover, putting down a liquid herbicide that's labeled for the use on your lawn, realizing with St. Augustine, now that it's dormant, you're not going to be doing too much to it. Read the directions on it. Just make sure it's labeled for use on your type of turf grass, and then read the directions on temperatures, because sometimes it's either ineffectual if the temperatures are too cool, or they can actually do some damage to the lawn.
Because I got a big area, probably 5-6 foot by 12 or 13 foot, that's clover.
Okay.
And on the side yard, it's all clover.
Just all clover.
Now, when it mows, it looks nice.
Oh yeah.
But
and I mean clover can be a nice ground cover. I mean, it's
but this is in the middle of the St. Augustine, just right in the middle of it.
Right. Okay. You just have a patch.
Right, but a big patch.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how those kind of things. And I know it's from bird droppings and everything.
Oh yeah.
But it's crazy how it's such a big patch.
It just
because when untreated.
You don't see, exactly. You don't see it at first. You don't see it till it becomes a problem. Dollar weed, it's a good time to check, make sure your irrigation isn't overwatering in certain areas. Can you fix drainage by adding some sand into those areas if they were clay, if they were low areas? If it happens to be the swale between two properties, might not be much you can do about that, because that's where the runoff is being directed by the plan to take that water, to the storm areas. So you may not be able to change that too much. It's just watch how your irrigation goes to those areas. You may not need to have your irrigation system throwing as far as that, because dollar weed is a native aquatic plant. So though it becomes a nuisance,
So it is native to us.
It's a native plant to us. It's edible even, but yeah, I'm not going to try to eat my way out of somebody's dollar weed.
No. You know.
But usually that's where we have the problems: is shady areas that don't dry well. And
this patch of clover and everything is literally runs right on the property line almost with the and it's where the water runs off to go down and we got dollarweed all down the fence line and everything because it's where it runs towards
the retention area.
Retention pond.
Right, and so there's not a lot you're going to do about that. I mean, you can try to spray, staying, I think it's 10 feet from a retention area. So you'd have to sort of realize you're going to have it along the fence pretty much forever.
Well, luckily for us, there's a shelf in our retention pond that's 25 feet all the way around.
Oh, okay.
So I can spray my fence and still not get in trouble with the county.
Okay. Still not be putting that into the
because I have to spray my fence because I have hot wire.
Yeah.
Because I have escape artists.
Yeah.
I have, and the thing about them is when they escape, they go
run around the front.
One of them runs the neighborhood and goes say hello to the other dogs. The other one goes sits on the front porch and waits to come in the front door.
Barking.
Just goes out of the backyard, right around the sidewalk, onto the front porch, hanging out, waiting for us to let him back in. And I'm like, why? Because I could.
Yeah, because I got out. I didn't know how to get back in. Yeah, don't know how to get back in.
Oh, by the way, he knows how to get back in, too. Yeah. He just chooses not to. Because I've caught him getting out before, where he got out, and he's on the other side of the fence looking at me. I said, you better get back in this yard. He'll come right back the way he just forced his way out. So he knows.
He knows.
He knows how to get back in a little, some other rack. And they're right now, they're loving this cold weather because the grass is now edible for them.
Oh.
Whenever their tummy's upset or something, they got the crunchy grass.
They got the
and everything.
crunchy stuff.
It's funny how dogs know what.
And it's itchy on the, they can scratch their back real good in it.
It's funny how they know what grass to eat, too, that helps them with upset stomachs and everything.
That's true.
Because I didn't know grass. I mean, I knew that you could eat bahia. I've done that all my life.
Yeah, everybody, all the kids have.
So, and now bahia is one of those grasses that it's going to be fine regardless.
It's going to be brown. But soon as it warms up, soon as we get rain, it's going to green again. I mean, your St. Augustine's will too. I mean, and like you said, the Bermuda turf is going to take a little longer. Zoysia turf is going to take a little longer. It needs it. They're just a little slower to recover from whatever the stresses were. And right now, it's been the cold weather stress.
Well, I know bahia. Anything that'll tear up a metal lawn blade.
Yeah.
It ain't going to die just because it got a little cold.
Right. It's going to turn brown for a while, but it'll be back.
And that, I bet you get that a lot. My grass is brown. Now, you even said, people come in and go, my grass is brown and I need fertilizer. But you don't. Your grass is just sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get a cup of coffee to the unconscious guy.
No, you don't. A guy that's unconscious, you don't pour coffee down his throat.
No, you don't give him a drink of water. He can't take it in. It's useless and actually does more harm than good. That is exactly my analogy. You put it down, it's not going to use it. It's useless. It can do more harm than good.
Drowned.
Yeah.
Ask Bon Scott at ACDC.
Yeah.
See, I like that you get those references because you're 83, I'm 84.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. When you said 83, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. You graduated the year before.
Yeah.
Year before I did. Carol Ann, where can people find you?
They can find me on the In the Garden Facebook group page, and then again at work down there at Lowe's down there.
You just asked to be a member of the group page.
Just ask to be a member.
You accept pretty much.
I accept pretty much everybody. Don't try to sell something. I mean, if you have a community event or something like that coming up that's garden related, let me know. I got no problem advertising that.
Yeah, well, Carol Ann Baldwin is In the Garden group page, or you can go see her down at the Lowe's in Lady Lake.
Go find me at work. I did have a listener come by and say hi the other day.
Well, there you go. So, Carol Ann, talk to you next week.
Yep, sure will.
We'll be right back with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto after this time out. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Winter USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
A deadly clash with multiple inmates at a federal penitentiary in Beaumont, Texas, Monday prompted the U.S. Bureau of Prisons to temporarily lock down all its facilities across America. According to spokesman Emery Nelson, the Bureau was securing the facility as a temporary measure to ensure the good order of the institution. Texas Senator Ted Cruz on his podcast calling President Biden's commitment to nominate the first black woman to the Supreme Court offensive and said that by doing so, the president is telling other Americans, you're ineligible.
He's saying to 94% of Americans, I don't give a damn about you. You are ineligible.
The World Meteorological Organization announced Monday that it had confirmed a mega flash lightning strike on April 29, 2020. A severe thunderstorm produced a 477-mile-long lightning strike over the southern United States. It stretched from near Houston, Texas, to southeast Mississippi. USA Radio News.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deirdre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, Andro 400 Max, the extra strength, all-natural testosterone booster, the safe, easy, and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Some of the best eggplant varieties to grow at home. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
Shrimp, grouper, stone crab, oysters, clams. That's just a sample of the great seafood that Florida's Gulf Coast is famous for. Fresh, wholesome seafood caught by fishing families that for generations have taken great pride in their work. No gathering is complete without delicious Florida Gulf seafood fresh from the docks. Remember, when shopping or dining out, ask for fresh from Florida seafood. That helps our state's fishermen and our local economies.
The 5th Annual Georgia Citrus Association Conference takes place on February 28th in Tifton. Hosted by the Georgia Citrus Association, the conference is the perfect place for growers to get the latest on crop insurance, food safety, regenerative farming, organic growing, nutrition, winter protection, and new citrus varieties. The Georgia Citrus Association is growing, and now is the time to become involved. Tickets are $50 if you pre-register and $60 at the door. Limited vendor space and sponsorships are available. Visit georgiacitrusassociation.org to register today.
Eggplant is very easy to grow. There are many varieties you can grow in your garden if you want to venture away from common American eggplant found at your local grocery. More than a dozen Italian eggplant varieties come in many shapes, styles, and forms. Although the flesh of these vegetables is almost always a creamy white color and known for its rich, nutty flavor, you can find Italian eggplant with skin in shades of white, purple, black, or even multicolored. Consider these eggplants to shake things up a bit in your garden. Gayleen, Nadia, J-Lo, Dancer, Beatrice, Clara, Paloma, and Angela. Grow Italian eggplant varieties just like any other cultivar of eggplant. Wait to plant seeds outdoors about 6 to 8 weeks before the last expected frost date. Most Italian eggplants are ready to harvest in about 70 days. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on The Source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be mostly sunny with a high of 71 to 73, then clear to partly cloudy skies this evening, low tonight 52 to 61. Partly sunny Wednesday, high tomorrow 75 to 79, then mostly sunny skies Thursday and Friday, high on Thursday 80 to 82, high on Friday 83 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Join Gary and Don Crawford of Pinnacle Retirement Advisors for Retirement with Pinnacle, Saturday mornings at 9 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retirement with Pinnacle with Gary and Don Crawford, Saturday mornings at 9. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right. It's Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto Repair with Personal Care with Sunrise Auto. He joins us every Tuesday. Matt, good morning.
Morning, Tom. How are you?
Good. A little chilly.
Yeah, it's chilly.
A little chilly, but ready. Yesterday it was warm enough in the afternoon where I got to do something I don't get to do a lot, and that's ride with the windows down and the sunroof open, or the moonroof. Because we live in Florida, we don't have it open during the day. It's a moonroof in Florida.
Yeah.
It's a sunroof everywhere. It was a moonroof in Florida because you keep it shut with the air conditioning on during the day.
You do.
So even with the cover, so the sun doesn't come in. But I was able to ride around with that open yesterday.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic. But I will tell you, I noticed something yesterday.
What happened?
Well, I just noticed that it's starting to happen. It's now when you roll both windows in the front down or up, they take a while now.
Uh-oh.
That means the motors are going in those doors.
Yeah.
And it's already happened in the back now where I've had to replace both motors each side in the back. But it's starting to, you can tell the windows are taking longer to roll up and roll down. And that's a motor issue.
It's a motor issue, especially on them.
I know exactly how much those motors cost, too, because I've replaced 2 of them.
Yeah, but that was on the back.
I know, but I know how much front ones look. I looked on rockauto.com.
Okay.
Believe me, I know how much they cost.
And
they're not cheap on rockauto.com.
No. It's crazy how the left front window motor will be more than.
Well, the driver's side motor is more expensive than the passenger side motor.
I know.
And I guess the result is, I would think it'd be cheaper because you use it more, so you'd replace it more often. I think it'd be cheaper, but it's not.
No, I think it's more because
you need it more.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can do without the passenger one.
Yeah, I could put a stick under the passenger one, just have it in the up position all the time.
But that driver
one, you got to have it down, up and down, up and down. So, but yeah, I know that's one of the things that's happening is the motors when it starts to slow down like that. It's a motor going.
It's a motor. It's starting to get a little tired.
Y'all don't do that at Sunrise, though, do you?
Yeah, we've
done
a couple.
We do that too.
Yeah, we've done a couple.
Window tint stuff like that.
Yeah, we do anything. I don't think there's anything that you can ask that we don't do.
Okay, so I guess you do a radio show too.
Every Tuesday morning at 10.
As a matter of fact. I've heard that commercial so many times now. I could do the commercial.
Well, let's get together.
I think I just did.
Let's do a new commercial.
I think
Tom.
I just did one. I think I just did.
Let's me and you do a commercial.
Well, we need to replace Dan. That's the issue.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. He ain't around. He don't know. He probably doesn't even listen to his own
No, of course he doesn't listen. If he listened, he'd know how bad I think he is at golf.
I'm gonna put my phone up here because I'm about to know in any second now I'm gonna see a text.
Oh yeah. He listens more than you know.
Oh, I know he does.
So with the weather like this and everything, though, people are starting. I had my next door neighbor. I saw him out there, and I asked him, I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm weatherizing. I'm draining my coolant and putting new coolant in, and doing all this, getting with this cold snap and all. You just got to do it. Do you have to do it?
You don't really have to do it unless it's time to do it. There is a time to do it. And there is and here's the thing that kind of worries me. I don't know your neighbor, so therefore it just may not pertain to him.
He's a mechanic at Nissan.
Okay, so he knows. But I just tell the people that do it themselves, be super careful. Read the owner's manual. Look it up online. A lot of these cars have little purge valves, vent valves. There's little things that you got to do, and when you drain the fluid out to put new fluid in it, and it's very, very important.
And if you don't do it, then you're replacing radiators, all kind of stuff.
Well, if you don't do it correctly, you could be replacing an engine.
Oh,
yeah,
that is very important.
And that's pretty. It's kind of like the warning label on something, you know.
Yes.
But that's something I have seen folks. I've seen them, especially in it was a Jeep, a couple Jeep motors, to where they didn't fill the cooling system up properly, and they had an air pocket in there, and it actually just smoked the engine. And that wasn't a good thing for them, you know.
That's not good.
It wasn't good.
No, because that's a whole motor you got to replace.
That was an expensive cooling system service. You know?
Yeah. But people think they have to do it when a cold snap comes. They think, I need new coolant. I mean, coolant can last a while. It's not something. It's not like milk. It doesn't have an expiration date 3.5 weeks after you put it in.
No, but it does. Coolant, just like any other kind of fluid, it needs to be serviced after a period of time. So
24, 36 months?
So a lot of these fluids that we are using now are now synthetic stuff. The brake fluid synthetic, the coolant synthetic, the oils are synthetic. I mean, the recommended, so here it is, the recommended time is typically 100,000 miles, like on coolant.
Okay, so it could be, depending on how much you drive, it could be a year, it could be 6 years.
It could be, but
with Sunny, it could be the rest of your life.
It could be the whole life of the car.
And the whole life of the car.
But even with that, I would still look at it, and probably after I got to a certain pinnacle part, probably 50,000 miles or something like that, and this is just me, I would probably do it every couple years anyway, at least just to drain and fill, not maybe necessarily a flush. If you keep nice coolant in there, you won't ever have to flush it because you always got nice coolant in there. It's when it turns from coolant to Mississippi swamp water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it gets to that point, then you're flushing, and then we end up having water pumps leaking and radiators leaking and stuff like that. So I mean, keep an eye on it. Usually the person that's able to change their cooling system themselves those people are quite capable of checking the fluids and making sure all the levels are good, and making, when you check your transmission fluid, smell it. Let that be a part of you checking. If you're
burn smell, no good smell.
No, get it somewhere quick.
If it smells burnt, get it in somewhere.
Get it in somewhere. Just deal with it now instead of later.
Is there any correlation between hard shifting and cold weather?
Yeah, there really is. Especially GM back in the.
Because I didn't notice my hard shifting transmission
until it got cold.
Until about 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
And now when it goes from first gear to second gear to third gear,
you
can feel
bang.
it.
Yeah.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
And I warmed the car up and everything properly.
Yeah, and you're doing a fine there. It's just let it warm up a little bit longer, or just understand that it's characteristics of the temperature of the weather, because what happens, especially in transmissions, because
it sits in pools, so it gets probably thick or something when it's cold weather.
Well, what happens is the transmission, the case is very important on the case. It's not just a place for all these parts to sit in. The case is actually part of the transmission. So it's not. So the case has a function. Then you got and that's made out of aluminum, and then you got all the steel that's inside of the transmission, right? And you got a valve body that is made of aluminum and steel, the valves and whatnot. Well, the steel and aluminum contract and expand
because of the heat and cold,
right? At different rates, though.
Oh yeah, because I didn't even think about that.
You see what I'm saying? So you have the aluminum that's expanding and contracting way faster than the steel is expanding and contracting
because of the density issues.
Right, exactly. And then you have issues of pressures, and lip seals, and there's a whole array of things that go along with it. But so typically you'll see that's a real common thing.
Hard shifting.
Yeah, just a firm, I would say firm shift.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the rear end's going to come out or anything.
Right.
But you can tell, he goes,
boom. Yeah. I like a transmission that shifts like that, because when you don't really feel the shiftings, the shifts of the gears, it kind of slides in. And I much prefer my transmission to go in, because it's less slippage. Less slippage is less friction. Less friction is less heat.
And less friction, less heat is always good for a motor.
It's always good for anything.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, just leave it
that alone.
I saw that. You should have seen the look on your face.
That alone.
There's 8,000 things went through your mind.
The comedian in me wrote like 8 jokes right then. Right then. I had 8 different jokes for stand-up right then.
I saw it, and I saw every.
And
I saw 6 of them.
I'm just gonna leave that alone. Just leave it alone. Just leave that alone. But so then I thought I was going to ask you about it because I was worried about it. But it's really, I shouldn't be worried about it. It's typical for this kind of weather. It's only happened in the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it is pretty common.
And the more I drive it, now if I'm on the road, like if I'm on the road for 15, 20 minutes coming to work, you can feel it the whole time. But if I'm on the road for an hour and a half, like going to Orlando or going to Brooksville or something like that, or I'm out doing sales calls and everything, the longer I drive it,
the better it gets.
Yeah. And that's heat.
Yep.
It's just heat is what you're saying.
I mean, if it changes to where it never stops, or if it gets harder, then you may want to at least have it scanned. Let's see if there's any kind of transmission code, and you may want to do that anyway. Matter of fact, we did a complete scan on your car just a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
I mean, we scanned
everything.
all 38 operating systems in that car.
Yeah.
And I don't think we had codes in a lot of the different BCMs and body controls, but we had nothing with transmission stuff.
So that's good. And I'm learning that not only is the transmission that way, but the car, when you in the mornings, the RPMs are a little higher too, to make it shift the transmission.
Right.
And all that you say is because it needs to warm up a little bit more, probably.
So back in the day, when we had carburetors, we had a choke on the carburetor. Right. You remember? And we don't have that anymore. So now what we do is we have temperature sensors and stuff like that to actually tell the computer, hey, it's cold out here. Can we give it a little bit more air fuel ratio, a little high idle? Let's get this thing warmed up faster. Back in when the computer systems started coming out in 80 and a half, but later on in a few years in, we had single wire O2 sensors, and we had single wire O2 sensors, and probably until 90 and maybe in the mid 90s, late 90s, and then they started going to multiple wired O2 sensors, and they created a heater circuit because the computer works. So when we first start our car up, it's in what we call closed loop. It has all these parameters set by the computer. This is a base idle, base fuel, base air, base timing, base. And then when the car gets to operating temperature is when now the computer says, okay, I'm going to relinquish my hold on you guys, and now I'm going to let all the sensors do their thing, and that's what we call closed loop. Now the car is running off what the computer wants. So a lot of times when we start up our car cold, the colder it is, the longer it'll stay in closed loop.
Oh, I see.
So and now they've done things to heat up oxygen sensors, to heat the engine up. If you notice, like cars today, it seems like the heat will come out of the vents way faster,
much quicker
than it did years ago.
Much quicker.
And the reason that they do that, they've engineered ways of making it get hotter faster, not hotter overall. We still run at 210 to 230 degrees, but they got it to where
it preheats the oven quicker.
It does. And so therefore you feel it.
Another thing that I've noticed in the last 4 or 5 days is power steering.
Uh-huh.
When you first crank the car up in the morning, even though there's power steering, you got to work it.
Yeah.
You got to, and I mean, don't get me wrong, once you 3 or 4 turns in it, everything, but the first backing out of the driveway and turning that wheel the first time and everything, it's still power steering. It's not like you got to fight it like you used to have, but it's not the power steering that you get 10 minutes later.
Right. and that power steering, you got rack and pinion, so that rack is the same exact principle as your transmission. That rack is made out of aluminum. It's an aluminum housing, and inside of it has got steel spool valves.
Same deal then.
Same exact thing. Same thing. So you got to warm that thing up. Now, so here's an indicator. We have people come in all the time and say, my car, it doesn't turn to the left. Or it doesn't turn, it'll go left, but it won't go right. It'll go right, it won't go left. And that's typically because the rack and pinion it has a left and right side. And it has seals inside the tubes and pressure. And that's, so if someone says, hey, it'll turn right, but it won't turn left. Left is like manual, right is like power. I know it's a rack and pinion.
Right.
I know it is. Because because you do have power going to the right, that tells me that the pump is pumping.
Right.
It's just that the left side of your rack
ain't receiving.
It ain't doing it. You know?
Yeah, I like this morning, I had to use two hands to turn the first 3 or 4 turns coming out to the radio station. But then after that, you can do it with one finger.
Right. Now here's a little experiment I want you to do. So tomorrow, just before you go anywhere, just pull the wheel to the left and feel it. Pull the wheel to the right and feel it. Is there a difference between the right and the left? And just really kind of pay attention to it.
Right.
You might find at one side, oh yeah, if I go that way, it's fine. If I go this way, is where I'm having.
And that could be a rack and pinion issue.
And that could be a rack and pinion. And to be honest with you, that's what it is.
Right.
It's just the rack is cold and it needs to warm up. Now the rack, typically, you need to move it back and forth in order to get the warmer fluid to circulate through the rack. Because it's not getting heat.
A whole lot goes into getting your car ready to drive.
Well, people don't. There's
sounds like work to me.
30,000 moving parts in your car. That's a lot of moving parts.
Wow, I'd have thought there was more actually.
Yeah, but
I'd have thought there was. When you look at schematics on the internet and everything, they look like. And when you go to a parts store on the internet and just look, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of parts.
Yes, there's thousands of parts.
The more the newer they get, the more parts they have on them.
That's right. And the more electronics and the more it's crazy. It's just getting
Yeah,
crazy.
you told me because I have a set of lights on that we can't shut off. We've done it, and you said it's because the computer module's going bad. So I looked just out of curiosity at how much it would be to replace that computer module. Yeah, I'll trade it in. I'll go get Chris Spears to buy this thing or something before I fix that computer module.
Yep.
Let somebody else fix that computer.
And so, and the code that you have, it's an automatic. If I see this code, it's automatic module replacement.
Right.
There's no
That's
ands or buts.
That's what you told me, and I was like, so I went and looked this weekend what one of them would cost at the secondary market. We'll just drive it the way it is.
Well, and right now in today's stuff, that price is probably elevated because of everything else that's going on in the world right now.
I'm sure it is.
And we are having a heck of a time in our industry when it comes to certain electronic parts.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure that's the problem. That's why it's so much, although it looks like it would be a lot anyway.
Yeah, it is quite.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Good morning, you're on with Matt Gibbs.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, Hugh.
See, in our future, we're going to have all electric cars. Are they going to have less parts than the cars that we have now?
Well, that's a really good question, Hugh. It probably will start off that way, but it's going to end up being just here's what it's going to end up being. These cars, and if we just in history, if we just look back at history from the time, the
Model T didn't have near the parts the 78 Camaro had.
No, but the Model T did have this. It had a glove box.
It did.
It had a spot for your wife to put her gloves in.
Yeah.
Right? So here's what I've learned, okay? I haven't learned a whole lot. I'm not a really smart guy, but I have learned these things. Cars are going to have all the stuff that people want in them. They're going to figure out a way to put it in there. Eventually, a car will have a refrigerator and a kitchen sink because that's what we want. We want to go somewhere and you brought everything, even the kitchen sink. A car is going to end up having the kitchen sink in it somewhere.
I have a very good friend of mine that has a Land Rover, that his console in the Land Rover is a wine fridge.
There you go.
And he rides around with chilled white wine in his wine fridge. That's his console.
Okay, I saw a Chrysler. This was a Chrysler Town and Country van. Inside the glove box is a little round thing. And in that round thing, you could put 2 cans. I would put Coke Zero or Pepsi Zero in there. And when you have the air conditioner on, it's got a vent blowing on the cans.
Hugh, that sounds like Miller Lite for us.
Well, I'm going to have to get one of those. Hey, real quick now, with all this electric stuff with automobiles, are you people in the car fixing business going to have to go back to school and retrain, or how's that going to work out?
Thanks for the call, Hugh. We got another call coming through. We'll let you listen on the air.
Okay, so yes. We are constantly, that's one thing about our industry, even though it's just an electric car, right, that we're talking about, but all the stuff, just like with your car, Tom, we scanned it with the computer, and there's 39 different operating systems in your car. We still got to learn how to.
Somebody has to learn how to work on those.
And so there's all kind of media stuff that we have resources to. We have here's the beauty of what we do, what I do, and what my guys do is that we have a mindset, and we have we're just created to learn and kind of keep up with stuff. It's amazing how we learn things that we didn't know yesterday, but we know it today. But there's classes that we get. There's all kinds of sources.
And they all tag team off of something that you already know anyway, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Good morning, Tom. Thanks for taking my call, and I like your show.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to change the subject if I can. I know Matt's a proponent of Schaefer's motor oil, and I have a question for him.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I have a Harley, and I run Schaefer's in it, and I changed the oil a little over a year ago, but I've only put 300 miles on it. Can I continue to run it, or what do I need to do?
Well,
thanks for the call. We'll take it off the air. Thank you.
What I would ask is this car, well, I need him.
He's there.
Okay. Is this carbureted or fuel injected?
Carbureted.
Okay, so if it's carbureted, I would definitely change the oil, and I'll tell you why. Because your carburetor has a bowl, and inside your bowl is fuel, and after a period of time, that fuel will work its way through out of the carburetor into the crankcase down into oil. So if it was fuel injection, I would say I'd probably feel a lot better using it under fuel injection type. But carburation, I'd just go ahead and service it and just put new fresh oil in there. I would save that Schaefer's oil you took out and put it in the lawnmower or something, because I wouldn't waste it.
Good.
That oil is going to be good. But most guys that have Harleys, that's their like pride and joy. That's their weekend ride. But I would go ahead and service it and start off afresh for this year.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call. That's a good question there. Because motorcycles, a lot of guys just use their motorcycles on the weekends.
Yeah.
And it sits like the lawnmower does. Yeah. Like right now, I'm trying to sell a lawnmower and crank it up and everything. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is go dry all the gas and oil out of it and put new gas and oil in it, because it's been sitting for 3 years.
The other thing too is once you start it up, if gas did get in oil, you know what I'm saying? That once he got his Harley running, it got up to operating condition, it would heat up and it would get the
fumes for the gas would burn off.
Out, But I still, for what it's going to cost to change the oil in the Harley, I would change the oil in it.
Matt, where can people come find you?
You can come find me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street. That is Highway 27. Or give us a call at 352-817-5638.
Sunrise Auto repair with personal care from Sunrise Auto. Matt Gibbs does a good job. Go see him for any of your automotive needs. Matt, talk to you next week.
Thank you, Tom. See you.
We'll be back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
A deadly clash with multiple inmates at a federal penitentiary in Beaumont, Texas, Monday prompted the U.S. Bureau of Prisons to temporarily lock down all its facilities across America. According to spokesman Emery Nelson, the Bureau was securing the facility as a temporary measure to ensure the good order of the institution. Texas Senator Ted Cruz on his podcast calling President Biden's commitment to nominate the first black woman to the Supreme Court offensive and said that by doing so, the president is telling other Americans, you're ineligible.
He's saying to 94% of Americans, I don't give a damn about you. You are ineligible.
The World Meteorological Organization announced Monday that it had confirmed a mega flash lightning strike on April 29, 2020. A severe thunderstorm produced a 477-mile-long lightning strike over the southern United States. It stretched from near Houston, Texas, to southeast Mississippi. USA Radio News.
No matter if supply lines are down, product deliveries are slow, and that most everything costs more these days, you still have neck and shoulder pain, right? Good news. Sunny Bay has new products that target neck and shoulder pain. Products that are in stock now, ready to ship anywhere now. Like our extra long neck heating pads. They provide soothing relief to painful sore necks and backs. You can heat them in a microwave oven, and they come in a variety of colors and patterns. And for stress relief, get our lavender scented hands-free neck wraps. Or maybe you need one of our smaller lower back wraps. Great for seniors. Again, there's no shipping delays from Sunny Bay. Find our new products on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, and sunny-bay.com. Just search for Sunny Bay Neck Wraps. All our products are great for men or women, are reusable, and easy to clean. Remember, just search for Sunny Bay Neck Wraps. Order now because stock is high and shipping is fast. From Sunny Bay.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Municipal Golf Course, 3130 East Silver Springs Boulevard, any Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check ocalabusinessleaders.com.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest